Pishachacharyam acharad katih satam yasya navadya charitam manishino grananti avidya patalam bibhitsavah nirasta samyatishayopi yat swayam Pishachacharyam acharad katih satam yasyana vadya charitam manishino grananti avidya patalam bibhitsava nirasta samyatishayopi yat swayam Pishachacharyam acharad katih satam. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Yasya, whose anavadya, unimpeachable, acharitam, character, manishina, great sages, grananti, follow, avidya, science, patalam, mass, bibhitsava, desiring to dismantle, nirasta, nullified, samya, equality, atishaya, greatness, api, in spite of, yat, as, swayam, personally, Pishacha, devil, charyam, activities, acharat, performed, gati, destination, satam, of the devotees of the Lord. Translation: although no one in the material world is equal to or greater than Lord Shiva, and although his unimpeachable character is followed by great souls to dismantle the mass of nescience, he nevertheless remains as if a devil to give salvation to all devotees of the Lord. Purport: Lord Shiva's uncivilized, devilish characteristics are never abominable because he teaches the sincere devotees of the Lord how to practice detachment from material enjoyment. He is called Mahadev, or the greatest of all demigods, and no one is equal to or greater than him in the material world. He is almost equal with Lord Vishnu, although he always associates with Maya, Durga. He is above the reactionary stages of the three modes of material nature. And although he is in charge of devilish characters in the mode of ignorance, he is not affected by such association. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vaishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishna Bhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutanesh Madhurana Samintina thank you everyone and welcome to morning's Bhagavad Katha program. So we just read the text and the translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. So what our learning focus today is going to be is understanding Shiva Tattva. Shiva Tattva is actually a very, very complex subject matter to understand. Prabhupada has simplified it, but even then the best way, of course, with any spiritual topic, the best way, actually the only way of understanding it is by accepting as it is. So Shiva Tattva, what his position is, why Lord Shiva, why he manifests, and then what is his personality. Then also we understand from this text that, Shiva is the greatest devotee of Krishna. Then how come or why does he have these devilish characteristics? It seems to be something of a mismatch, because a devotee, we have a certain idea of how a devotee is. And then on the surface, it appears that Lord Shiva is not really conforming to that, but yet he is considered the greatest devotees. So then why does he have these devilish characteristics? And the final point that we will discuss is what a sadhaka like me can learn from Lord Shiva. Okay. I have prepared for this class with the transcripts of Srila Prabhupada reading on Veda base. Also taken the help of the site harekrishna.com and iskondesiretree.com. So thank you. So let's understand his position. What is Lord Shiva's position? Now, we are all very familiar with this. Many a times it has been discussed in our classes. Here we have Krishna, and from Krishna is Balram, Chaturvyu expansions. Then on this side, here is the Ladni Shakti, Radharani. From Radharani, we have Lakshmi, Mahamaya, Durga, Kalima. So from here, this first expansion, then we have Narayan, then the second expansion, then we have the Purusha avatars. From the Purusha avatars, you have Karana Dakshai Vishnu, also known as Mahavishnu. From him we have the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Shirodakshai Vishnu, and here from the excuse me, from Garbhodakshai Vishnu, then we have Lord Brahma, who comes from his navel. And then there's also Lord Shiva. And then we have, their respective consorts. And then, of course, from Narayan also, we have the Krishna avatars. So this is just a brief overview of Lord Shiva's position. Now, if we can understand from that diagram, the block diagram, there is Krishna. He is the Sarva Karana Karanam, the causeless cause of everything, all causes. Primer, and then, there's the subordinate causes. Now, Krishna, as the Shastras explain, has 64 qualities, which is cent%. And it is the, when he comes here in the creation, he is also in the Satagun as the maintainer, as Vishnu. Then we have Mahadev. He is also known as the greatest devotee. He has about 84%, approximately 54 qualities, and his role is as the destroyer. We understand that the material world, it comes into existence, and it also is the dissolution. So that dissolution process is Lord Shiva. He is the destroyer. And then we have also Lord Brahma, known as the Nabhi Janma also, because he appeared from the Nabhi, the lotus, a stem came up, and on the lotus flower is where Lord Brahma appeared. So he has approximately 78% understand of these qualities. So what we should understand is that Lord Brahma is a Jiva. Like all of us come into this category of 78% qualities. of uh, uh, why? Because we are part and parcel, correct? And as we understand, qualitatively we are one as Krishna, but quantitatively we differ immensely. Now, if there is a person who has, cent percent of the 78% of these qualities in perfection, and someone who's able to do that for 100 lifetimes, then he gets the position of Brahma. Brahma is a title. Brahma is a title. And there are persons, jivas, who occupy this title. So we have Krishna and we have jivas. And somewhere in between is Mahadev, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is unique. There can be countless of jivas, countless, but there is only one Shiva, just like there is only one Govinda, Krishna. So this is where his position is. Now, to understand a little bit more, we refer to the Shastras where they say he's the best Vaishnav, correct? Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. Then he's also a Mahajan. Mahajan is someone who is an authority. We know there are 12 Mahajans. Mahajan is an authority on Vaishnavism. Then it's also said that if you read the Rudra Geet, it invokes the mercy of Krishna. So when we read this prayer, Rudra Geet, Bhagavatam says it invokes the mercy of Krishna. Then all he does, Mahadev, is to please Krishna. That's what his entire purpose is, to be pleasing Krishna. Vaishnav, greatest Vaishnav. Who is a Vaishnav? Vaishnav is a servant. So he's always drinking, so much so that he even drinks poison, during that churning of the ocean. Then Padma Purana says that he relishes chanting the names of Lord Rama. Many a times, of course, now there has come this Vaishnavism, and there's also another school of thought, which is the Shaivites, the followers of Lord Shiva. However, there is some little confusion over there where they say that Lord Shiva is the supreme. And to give the evidence for this, they say that Lord Rama, who's Vishnu's avatar, even he prays to Mahadev, but that is not correct understanding. Lord Rama, when he prays to Lord Shiva, is playing the role of a human being, how human beings should behave, Maryada Purushottam, the perfect human being. So he takes this position, though that he is the master of Lord Shiva to teach us, he takes this. And furthermore, Padma Puran says, what does Lord Shiva do? He is deep, always absorbed in meditation. He's chanting the names of Lord Rama. Brahma Samhita, verse 10. Of course, the Brahma Samhita that we read is from 5.32, if I remember right, Ishwar Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha. But before that, the Brahma Samhita, it says that Lord Shiva derives power from Vishnu. In the Brahma Samhita that we're all familiar with, there's a verse where it even says that Lord Shiva's son, Shri Ganesha, whose main task is to remove all obstacles on the path of devotional service. And he gets this power from these two protrusions on the forehead. He has the head of an elephant and body of a human being. So over there, that's where he places Lord Vishnu's feet, and that's where he gets his power to do anything. Similarly, Mahadev, Lord Shiva, gets his power from Vishnu. Actually, all of us get our power from Vishnu. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says that, our power of speech, memory, knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness, sarva karana karanam. So Brahma Samhita, and explaining the position of Mahadev, Shri Ram Yatha Dadadi Vikara Vishesha Yoga, what it says is, it gives an example so that we can understand that just as milk, correct? Milk, when it gets transformed, it becomes yogurt. So yogurt comes from milk. In one sense, it is the same as yogurt, but yogurt is same as milk, but it is still not milk. And that purpose is that for the purpose of destruction, Govinda is transformed into Mahadev, Lord Shiva. Now I have put an asterisk over here we need to be very careful when we understand it. It is not just a simple analogy that milk has transformed and it has become curds. How we should understand this is that Krishna never changes. Krishna remains as is. And that transformation to Shiva is like Chintamani gem. Chintamani gem, it manifests different things based on the desire, but it remains unchanged. So for a particular purpose, the destruction is where Govinda is transformed into Mahadev. So why does he manifest Lord Shiva? Very simply put, to serve Krishna's desires. Now, Krishna has immense compassion, and there are tormented souls, like people who commit suicides and other things. They don't get this form, but they just have the subtle form. And that subtle form has desires, but there is no way of how they would be able to fulfill the desires. Today, you and me, we have desires, and these desires, we are able to fulfill it through this vehicle called the body, whatever it may be, to eat, to see, to hear, to speak, whatever it is. So this is the desires coming. So it is a very frustrating condition, and they're extremely tormented. And to deliver them, correct, he takes on this role. So Lord Shiva doesn't make any discrimination. So much so that all his companions are these pretas, pishachas, and others, the ghosts, what we call goblins, things like that. Also, he's the one, we know that pastime, Mother Ganga came rushing down from the spiritual realm, and she comes with so much force that Mother Earth would not have been able to accommodate. In fact, the word mother, just a side note, very, very important. Mother is someone who tolerates. I remember many, many, many years ago as children, we used to go for these programs, and they had taught us what is Mother Earth. And that teacher, he gave the example that if you go to the sea, you throw any dirt in the sea, her waves bring her back, bring all that dirt back on the shore. Correct? It just washes everything to the shore. Even if you go and throw stuff in the deep ocean, the pollution that we do, mankind, it spreads, and the waves bring it back to the shore, it deposits. However, it is only the mother. No matter what is the kind of atrocities or the nonsense the child does, the mother is always accepting and she tolerates it. That's one of the examples he gave of mother and why we should be respecting. However, Mother Ganges, she comes with so much force that Mother Earth takes so much, she bears the burden of all the nonsense that we do. She wouldn't have been able to just handle all that force. So here it comes Lord Shiva, he agrees and he holds it up in his jatas, the head. So the power gets kind of buffered, and then that's how it flows. And we all know the significance of Mother Ganges. She purifies the sin. Anyone who takes a dip in her. Similarly, he drinks poison in the churning of the ocean between the devas and the demons. Then also, very important for us, he sets an example for all human beings, mankind. You hear that Seva, service. But service has different gradations, but how to be unconditional, unmotivated, and uninterrupted. This is the true definition of a Vaishnava. All of us are on the path. We are studying Vaishnavism. We are practicing Vaishnavism. This is how we have to do it. And then to be absorbed. He's always fully, mastamala, as they say, he's fully absorbed in chanting, and he's not judgmental. He's not judgmental at all. So these are the qualities of Lord Shiva, and to set an example. That's why he manifests in his Lord Shiva. So what is his personality? He's easily pleased, Ashutosh. He's the ideal husband. Women in India, they pray to Lord Shiva that we should get a good husband. He's always in balance. He has the ferocious aspect of him, but at the same time, he's also calm. He's impartial. He's non-biased on who is a devotee. He doesn't look at the externals. So if you have a desire to serve the Lord, he facilitates it. He doesn't see, what your background is, what you're doing, how much you're doing, things like that. He's intolerant to justice. He's a great dancer. Of course, he's known as Nataraj. You're familiar with that. He's Vairagya. Vairagya, Lord Shiva has tremendous powers, but still he lives very simple, so simple. Harmony, this is a very interesting thing I read. It is, Lord Shiva's vehicle is the Nandi, Bail, the ox. Mother Parvati's vehicle is the lion. Kartikeya, his other son, has peacock. And Lord Ganesha, his vehicle is a rat. So now if you look at it, it's completely disconnect in the sense lion and ox cannot simultaneously exist. Similarly, the peacock, rat, lion. So, but yet all of them, look at this family, all of them are all peacefully existing. There's harmony, there's unity in diversity, and everything aspect of this is an lesson and instruction that we can learn from it. And very important, Bholenath is kind-hearted and forgiving, meaning to say that no matter what are the offenses, everything, he very easily forgives. And this is something that we should learn in our day-to-day living. Someone says something, someone even looks at us something, or someone may forget to say Hari Bol, immediately how upset we become. We look at slights, whether real or imagined, and just it keeps expanding. So, if we have a soft heart, it becomes natural that we can forgive. Now, coming to this point that he is so great, then how come he has all these bhyanak, terrible characteristics and even at times appearances? Simply because he desires nothing. No desire. No material desire. All he wants is to say. And if you don't have material desire, you really don't care about your appearance. Of course, this is a very highly philosophical point, like the Avadut. Avaduts are not mad people. They are the greatest self-realized persons. But all these externals, it doesn't mean anything to them. And then basically he wants to remain undisturbed. That's why he has this roop, so people won't keep coming to him and, pestering him. So this is why he has these devilish characters. He desires nothing. And again, everything about Lord Shiva is an instruction to us. Let us not spend too much time in appearances. Of course, Bhakti Charu Maharaj had instructed that we should look very presentable. And he gave the example, sometimes we think simple living, high thinking, and, we may wear crumpled clothes and, like a murjaya, like a wilted flower. So he says, who will get attracted to Krishna consciousness? Who? You see this person, he looks so dukhi, he looks so sad. So, if you have to dress, you could even dress opulently, but as a purpose of attracting people to Krishna. Not so that people will get attracted to you. Anyway, so this is the reasons why his devilish characteristics are there. And so what can we learn? The most important part, what can a sadhaka learn from Lord Shiva is seva, any kind, anytime. Yesterday, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Prana Krishna Prabhu, Prakash Prabhu, one new devotee, Sagar Prabhu, they just, Jagdish Simha Prabhu, they cleaned up incidentally, side note, there's a lot and lots of seva required in the temple. The temple hall is so beautiful. You just enter in, it just is awestruck when we see the deities, the altar, the dresses. It just fills up your heart, correct? But, the surrounding areas needs to be at the same level as how we have. It's no different. The reception area is no different than the altar, the kitchen, the community hall, the parking lot, everything. This is Krishna's house. This is Krishna's house. So there is a lot of seva required and humble request. Please, whatever little bit you can even help out by giving ideas. You come in person, help us lift and clean all this thing. So what he teaches, Mahadev, is seva, any kind, anytime. He doesn't say that, oh, this thing, I'll only do cooking, I'll only give class, I'll only do kirtan. Yes, those are also sevas. But seva means anytime, any kind. It should be done seva. Anytime, of course, it has to be practical. But we know in our heart how much time. Akhilesh Prabhu, he was talking to me, he's telling me, Mataji and I are thinking, what more can we be doing? Of course, they're grastis. They have 2 small children. There are these responsibilities, work, etc. But still, see that mentality and attitude, and we just need to have that desire and thought, and everything else will be made arrangement for. One won't be done at the expense of the other. Then compassion. Compassion comes from the heart, not the hand. This is what my Guru Maharaj has said. He's very compassionate. Similarly, we also should be very, very compassionate. Be strict with ourselves, but be lenient with others. Balance. How we'd be able to balance our lives. We have so many responsibilities. And if we put the focus on the spiritual, because that's who we are, it doesn't mean your professional and personal gets neglected. That gets taken care of. But however, what we do is, in terms of priority, it is professional, personal, then spiritual. Agar time mila, doable if able. And then we feel satisfied. Oh, as it is, I'm doing so much. There's that level of satisfaction. And Krishna says, to the degree that you approach me, to that degree I come to you. And whenever that question comes now, oh, so many years I've been doing, I'm still not developing that higher taste. What is it they're talking about? It's just a matter of priority, how much priority we give. Harmony. Living in opposing forces, there are people with, they have their way of, everyone has a way of looking at things. It's not that it's just my way is the right way, otherwise it's the highway. How we are able to coexist within the Sangha and even outside with the Sangha. How we are able to be in harmony and simple living, high thinking. So this is what a few of the things that we can learn. And then finally bringing it to a close with Srila Prabhupada's quote, a devotee of Lord Krishna does not respect Lord Shiva, but worships Lord Shiva as the most, I can't read this, exalted, but worships Lord Shiva as the most exalted devotee of Lord Krishna. Consequently, whenever a devotee worships Lord Shiva, he prays to Lord Shiva to achieve the favor of Krishna and does not request material profit. So Lord Shiva is Ashutosh, easily pleased. He'll give you what you ask for. However, all we have to ask is, please engage me in devotional service. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. It is 7 o'clock. Any questions, you could post it on to comments, corrections. Please post it on to the Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya group. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Over to you, Madhupati Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day and week ahead. Let's offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shino Shingo, Jano Shingo, Jai Jano Shingo, Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Bringa, Ugraveram
Sarvatam Sarvatomukha Darshinam Vishnuvattam Vishnu Namamyam.
Nrsimha Bhagwan ki Jai,
Jai.
Maharaj ki
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhasya
Kalpatarubhasya
kripasinubhavacha patanam pavanebhyo
Namaha.
namaha. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Ki
jai.
jai.
Prabhupada
Ki
ki
jai.
jai. Gaur Premanande.
Hari 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 Bol.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.